This is a 5-minute quick tip for supporting your team on shift, either in the ED, ICU, or anywhere you're caring for patients. You know what you're up against: an overflow of patients, but too few beds, resources, and man hours. You might also be running low on sleep and support. This video will demonstrate a 5-minute method for helping you and your team manage difficult cases. Your department likely understands best the magnitude and the nuance of what you're facing. Coming together provides staff with an opportunity to reinforce their camaraderie and lend peer support. When your team carries extra stress, they face a decline in clinical decision-making and in their personal well-being. Defusing is a quick debriefing method that aims to reduce uncertainty and stress after a particularly challenging case, reducing the mental load of should've, could've, would've, and recognizing the team's shared concerns may improve your ability to move forward and see that next patient with a clear head. So how do you do it? It's as easy as initiate, I-E-I. Initiate, introduce, explore, and inform. The first step, initiate, is the most important. The conversation only happens if someone starts it, and anyone can do it. To initiate, ask your team to hit the pause button. With a full waiting room, there's no time to stop, but there is time to pause for 5 minutes. If a case was especially difficult for any reason, maybe the patient was a coworker or other medical professional, the patient was very young, or maybe the circumstances were out of your hands and it just felt unfair, then that's called a critical incident. Critical incidents can be different for every one, team, and department. A good rule of thumb is, you know one when you see one. And when you see one, initiate a defusing by saying, hey, that was a hard case. Let's take 5 minutes to diffuse before we keep going. Some other things you might say are, we had a critical incident. Let's talk it through before we see our next patient. Instead of saying critical incident, you can name what type of case it was. Remember, anyone can initiate a defusing. Everyone on the team is welcome to participate, and participation is always optional. Once your team has initiated a defusing, the next step is for you or another team member to introduce the defusing by stating the ground rules and goals. That sounds like a lot, but you can do it in one sentence. Our goal is to briefly review what happened so we can improve our quality of care. This isn't the time for blame or shame. Now that the defusing has been initiated and introduced, it's time to explore the case. During high-demand processes, we get tunnel vision that helps us focus on what's most important, which is a good thing. It also means we don't always see the whole picture. And that discrepancy between what we saw and what happened can lead to many of those distracting, lingering questions. So now is the time to equalize those information cells. Say, let's discuss what happened. Everyone can add events where they fit in the timeline. I'll start. If you're working with people less familiar to each other, people should state their name and clinical role before recapping what happened from their perspective. Recurring themes of what went wrong can be jotted down as a quality improvement note for later. Ask questions like, what were the challenges? And what strategies do you see going forward that would be helpful here? This is also an important time to highlight what went well. If you observe someone making a good decision, tell them. Now, more than ever, your team needs to know what they're doing right. Ask, what were we proud of? Or, what aspects of the case do you think we managed well? To wrap up this 5-minute method, inform your team what next steps look like. Thank you for taking this moment to diffuse. That was a hard one. Remember, everyone copes in their own way. If you need more support, reach out. Know your hospital's resources for support, and you can always suggest the National Crisis Text Line. And that's it. Now you have a tool to discuss a tough case with your team in real time, so that each of you can erase the uncertainty that comes with highly focused work, preserve your personal well-being, and prepare to see that next patient. Remember, you're in this together.